that you don't see a lot of hauls on my channel is because I just feel like I don't buy enough books to justify regular hauls. And then we get to the end of the year and I look at all of the books I bought and I go, oh, I messed up. Hello, my lovely friend, it's Margaret. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I am going to be showing you every single book that I have bought or received, gotten, found in the year of 2024. In case you hadn't figured it out already, I am really bad about doing regular hauls, so we just do one big haul at the end of the year, and it goes into my yearly end of the year content. Speaking of which, this is either day 2 or day 3 of the 12 days of Margaret. If you don't know what the 12 days of Margaret is, it's just my little way of doing end of the year content. We're supposed to start on my birthday and then we go for the following 12 days, kind of like the 12 days of Christmas. This year we had some technical difficulties and also someone fell asleep. We're a little bit behind, but do not worry, I still have 12 videos planned out for you. We're gonna get through this and you guys are gonna get to know what my reading year was like and potentially, hopefully, find some books that you are interested in reading, or maybe some books that you feel you should avoid. I will have yesterday's video linked right up here. And with that out of the way, let's get into the haul. These are going to be in no particular order. I didn't take the time to put all of these in genres or anything, or like when I bought them. Should I? Yes. Am I that put together? No. We're going to start out though with a couple of boxes from Illumicrate. There are a couple of special editions that I ordered, plus I have got my December box. There's going to be a massive video of me opening and tier ranking all of the other Illumicrate boxes that I have gotten this year that I hadn't unboxed for y'all. Someone let 8 months worth of boxes build up. Again, we're not on top of things. One of these is the Whispering Knight. One of these is the Prisoner's Throne. And I'm not sure which one we have here. But this, I haven't read this yet. I need to. How do I get into this? This is the Illumicrate edition of the Whispering Knight. I have managed to snag all of them at this point. So just look at the end papers. Oh, shooting stars, comets and meteors. Oh, identifying asteroids, comets, and meteors. Oh my god, this is, do you see how gorgeous that is? Also, look at these sprayed edges. Number one, they're purple, and I'm loving all of the purple. And the ravens, those of us that have read book 2 know what that's about. I'm enjoying this series so much. It is tiding me over until we get the final, what is it? I think it's Witchlight at this point. We get the final Truth Witch books. So I'm very happy. That was the Whispering Knight, which means this has to be the Prisoner's Throne. These are like the special dust jackets that they come with, but then you have, this is oak. Look at our boy. Read the Prisoner's Throne at this point. I didn't love it as much. Oh my god. Look at that. That is stunning. Like that's even better looking than the original covers. Ooh, look at that. And then I believe this is another one where front and back are the same. I didn't love it as much as I loved the first book in this series, nor did I love it anywhere near as much as I loved the original series. Just, there were some things that were different here. There's a video coming out where I will talk more about that in depth because I read this along with 9 other books for the YA Goodreads Fantasy Awards, but I haven't gotten to emotionally to the point where I can edit that video yet. And then finally, December box. Real quick. Let's see if I can do this without stabbing myself. Oh, this looks like a sci-fi box. Okay, so Ride or Die is the theme for December 2024. I don't want to look at spoilers. Immediately, we have a mug. I've wanted one of these for the longest time, and the last one they sent us, not one I will be keeping because I'm not a big fan of the series, and I feel like there's somebody out there that's going to appreciate it way more than I will. Who do we have here? Oh. This is mean. It's the 3 siblings from Jade War. Fuck whoever decided to put this in here. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not talking about it. I'm fine. Okay, we also have some bookmarks in here. I'm feeling, oh, I know what this is immediately because that. I don't know if anyone recognized, oh, I recognize that man for sure. That looks like a Gansey. That's definitely a blue. Then we have, I don't remember any of the other boys' names, but Adam was one of them, yeah, and then Ronan. It's been a very long time since I read that series. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's soft, whatever it is, it feels very, this This is amazing. I love it. What does it mean? What is it? I don't know which. Hold on, I'm looking. Like it's a clock, and it is inspired by The Last Hour Between Worlds, which I think, yeah, is in this book. Is in this pile of books that I'm gonna haul for you. Okay, so it looks like this is like a little. You prop it up like this, and then you just flip it. Do I recognize any of? My boys! Okay, I love this calendar. I actually opened it in time to use it. The last year's I don't think I opened until like, and the artwork is by @polarts_. I don't think I opened it until like maybe like April when I opened it. Hamajang Luck by Makana Yamoto. 8 Misfits, 2 X's, 1 Last Heist. Real quick peek at the, oh look at that. Okay, so those are the end papers. And more end papers. Okay, so it's like we've got the crew. We've got these gorgeous sprayed edges. And then this is the book. This is going to be fun. I feel like, ooh. Oh, I love that. So it's like little notes they're taking. It's like, oh, that's so cool. We're also going to separate these into the piles of books that I haven't read and piles of books that I have for reasons. I got Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I haven't read any of her books yet, but I keep buying them. I keep finding them. Some of them I've gotten for free, but like I keep finding them. This was on sale though, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna get it, I might as well. I also have, or found in my car, When the Stars Align. This I got at BookNet Fest last year, 2023. It is by Camilla Andrew. We're dealing with a fallen star in human form. This is giving like Last Unicorn vibes, and I loved that book so much. I also managed to pick up a little bit of manga, because you know, it's me. I've got to pick some up. So we got Dinosaur Sanctuary, Volume 3. I got this because, for reasons, my library has Volumes 1, 2, and 4, but did not have Volume 3, so I just went and I bought it myself. I also grabbed Spy Family Volume 8 because I'm enjoying this so much. It's a great little manga, and I love the dynamics between all of the characters. And then I am slowly working on getting all of the Full Metal editions, and I keep getting stuck. I don't know what it is. I feel like Barnes & Noble is just is trolling me every time. The one that I need is the only one they don't have. So now I have 15, and I need 16. Guess what I can't find at Barnes & Noble? Anyway, so these are the gorgeous, like, hardcover Full Metal editions. This is my favorite manga. It's such a worthwhile investment, and my only thing that I would say about these is I wish there were more manga that were my favorites. Like Ouran High School Host Club, really wish it came in these editions like this as well. But like, they're fun. They have like all of these fun little details like the vellum and character art. After that, we have a couple of the books that I got at StimulatCon. If you want to see like the full experience, there is a vlog for it. But we've got Stealing Home by Grace Riley. If I remember correctly, hold on. I feel like, yeah, this is like the third book in a series, so I guess I have to go find the first 2 books in the series and see if I like it. It's baseball themed though, and that is the only sport that I actually really know much about. We also have A Caribbean Heiress in Paris by Adriana Herrera. This was a book that I picked up at Stimulat. We were sitting next to someone at lunch, and she recommended this. She said I would really like it, and so I'm going to get it. You're also going to find some random Dungeons & Dragons books sprinkled in here, starting with Heroes Feast, the official D&D cookbook. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love like how much thought and detail went in. They have like everything, you can't see that, but they have everything broken up into human cuisine, elven cuisine, dwarven cuisine, halfling cuisine, and then there's uncommon cuisine and elixirs and ales. We'll ignore that last bit, but like just look at like the pictures are so gorgeous, and they have such like nice instruction, and all sprinkled throughout they have illustrations like you have in the Player's Handbook. We missed one manga. I got Maid Sama by Hiro Fujiwara. I was told by Shay over at Shay Geeks Out that I may enjoy this one, and so I'm picking this up. This is part of a project. I'm not making promises for any content that I have not started yet, okay? Another Stimulat grab. Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. I read by the book from this series. I haven't read, I know If the Shoe Fits was the first one, and there are a couple more out in this series, but I think this was the most recent one, and Christina Lauren were at StimulatCon. It's a retelling of Rapunzel. I love Rapunzel, like that's one of my favorite fairy tales, and I grabbed it, I picked it up, because I knew I'm going to Oh, I forgot that there was character art for their other series in there. I knew I was going to read it, so I figured let's grab it. Let's grab it and let's go. Let's even those stags out a little bit, and I'll say let's haul the entirety of the Murderbot series that I own so far. We've got All Systems Red. We have Artificial Condition. We have Rogue Protocol and Rogue Protocol and Exit Strategy. I love this series so much. Oh, I also have Network Effect. This is the first like full-length novel in the series. I love this series. It's so good. If you haven't tried these series yet, just pick it up. We also have Miss Percy's Travel Guide to Welsh Moors and Feral Dragons. I tried to say Welsh Dragons and Feral Moors. That wasn't going to work. This is the second Miss Percy's book. I absolutely adore this series. It is a Regency fantasy with a little bitty bit of romance. The romance is more pronounced in this one than it was in the first one, but it's just kind of like, I love the fact that we have an older protagonist. I love the way that like the whole dragon thing is being handled. We have some like a severe escalation of stakes that happens in this second book, and I cannot wait. I haven't gotten it yet, but I need to get the third book, and I love it and I adore it. So please, if you've even thought about reading this series, pick it up. We also have A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is giving me, from my understanding, this kind of has How to Train Your Dragon world vibes without the dragons. Like, there are no dragons, but it has those vibes. I'm getting very much Shield Maiden. I'm getting very much the Rohirrim from this cover. I was taken in by the pretty pages, the sprayed edges. I really want to read this. I've heard really good things about it, and I've heard really good things about Danielle L. Jensen as a writer. Like, people really seem to like her books, so I'm interested to give this a try. A few more books that I've read. We have The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. This is one that I read for the Steamy Lit vlog because Zoraida Cordova was going to be at Steamy Lit Con. It's a good book. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the family dynamics and like everything that kind of gets revealed in this. Just read it. There's so much, like, it's really hard to talk about. It's very complicated, and I don't want to give away too much, but I really enjoyed this book. It was delightful. Not delightful. I want to describe this almost like dark whimsy, because it feels very whimsical, but it's also very, very dark. We also have The Mercy of Gods by James S.A. Corey. If you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know that I love the Expanse series. It's one of my favorite series. This is their newest, I think it's going to be a trilogy. The Expanse series had a very broad, if that makes sense, very broad view of everything. We had multiple points of view characters, and they're all from different parts of the galaxy going on and like going through different experiences that all end up tying together. This is a lot more intimate in our points of view. We are following the points of view of one team that are all kind of in the same place, going through this same experience where their world has been taken over by these aliens that are trying to decide, do humans deserve to continue on as a species? That's what's happening. There's a lot being said in here, and you can tell that James S.A. Corey has really thought about this. Not just because like I'm familiar with their work from The Expanse and I've seen threads of this in The Expanse, but they are really like sitting down and questioning things, and questioning this book is just kind of questioning the idea of imperialism. That's what it is questioning, and I kind of love that. I love that they are very, in their works, they are very anti-capitalist and anti-imperialist, and that's one of the reasons that I like them. I've got another book by this author in here somewhere, but we've got A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir. This is the second Ember in the Ashes books. I was at the opening of the New Romantics bookstore in Orlando, and I wanted to buy a couple of things, and I wanted to buy a book, and they had some of the original covers of this series. I didn't want to buy them all at once because I couldn't justify buying all three, like the three that they had there at once. And it was easier to get 2, 3, and 4 in this hardcover edition. One is the one that's hard to find, but eventually I want to own all of these. I need to reread the first 3 books so I can read the final book and have my heart ripped out. But it's going to be okay because I've read the sequel series, the first book in the sequel series, so it's going to be fine at some point. But it's not fine right now. As we've mentioned previously, I have been trying to find a specific version of Fullmetal Alchemist at Barnes & Noble, and I stopped by Barnes & Noble, like the big one that's near me, trying to figure out if they maybe had it, and they didn't, but I was at Barnes & Noble, and if you're at Barnes & Noble, I feel like you're morally obligated to buy a book, because I'm in a bookstore. Like, bookstores, you walk in, you should probably buy a book. That's just the way that bookstores work. And so while I was in the graphic novel section, I found this guy. This is Vox Machina Origins. It is by Volume 1. It is by Matthew Mercer, Matthew Colville, Olivia Sampson, and Chris Northrop. This is the kind of like from what I am gathering, just based on looking at this and the fact that we still have Tiberius in here, I assume that this is pre-Legends of Vox Machina. It's the lead up to where we find them in the like when the cartoon starts. So this is going to cover some of the stuff, like the early campaign 1 stuff that they kind of cut because Orion wasn't going to be involved in the show. I also got How to Be More D&D, Face Your Dragons, Be More Adventurous, and Live Your Best Geeky Life by Kat Kruger. I have no idea what this is about, but I happened to see it when I was purchasing Heroes Feast, and I was like, well, this looks fun. Like, it's a whole bunch of, like, kind of like, I think it's a motivational book, something like that, and I just like, this looks cute and fun, so why not? Let's grab it. It was $4. I grabbed it. I guess I'll read it at some point. Let's see what else we have. We have I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. Y'all know my love for Stephen Graham Jones is well established at this point, so I don't think I need to explain that I love this man and his writing. Mostly his writing. I actually don't know him as a person, but I love his writing. This is like a slasher novel from the point of view of the slasher. He is explaining why things happened, what's going on. I've started this book. I didn't finish it. I started this book, and then I wasn't able to continue on with it, but I do appreciate the fact that this had like an accurate representation of what you're supposed to do when you apply an EpiPen or inject someone via EpiPen, which is you're supposed to inject them and then you're supposed to call the hospital. And then I also got 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland. I have no idea what this is about, but it had the pretty sprayed edges and it sounded very... I read the synopsis at one point, but like, oh, look at that. This is a Red Tower book, so we'll see if it, like, the writing is as good as the packaging, but I'm very interested to see where this goes and what this is. We also have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Fazel. This is the second one that I have gotten because the first one arrived and, like, the cover had some weird stuff on it. I don't even know where that dust jacket is at this point. Like, it's somewhere in this room, but I'm not sure where. And I'm not entirely sure that I want to find it because, like, it had some stuff trapped between, like, the paper and the laminating film that they have on the outside to make it, like, to protect the cover. It had some weird stuff trapped there, like, just white powdery stuff. And I was like, I don't need that. I don't want that. I think halfway through this, I was enjoying it, and then I had to put it down for other books. It happens quite often for me. We also have Trial of the Sun Queen by Anisha J. Chuli. This is from what I understand, kind of like a Hunger Games-esque type thing where we got a situation where she's competing to become the queen. I believe she wants to kill him. Is that right? Basically, she was released from prison to compete in this against 9 other tributes for the role of queen. She's trying to win it because she doesn't want to go back to the Aurora King. She needs to win the Sun King's heart so that she can roll with him and maybe get some revenge, it sounds like. We have more copies of The Whispering Night, and you're going to laugh at me, but... we have this one, and we have this one. I pre-ordered one of these whilst there was like the 25% off Barnes & Noble sale, and then forgot. And I was like, oh no! I couldn't find the email where like that was telling me, because it was in an email with some other books, but I couldn't find the email telling me that I had purchased this or that one. So I went and I purchased another one so that I would have a copy of this book. Fine. I think this is the final bit of Steamy Lit books. We have See Chai Loves a Lakeside Reunion. We also have Soulmates and The Name Drop by Susan Lee. I saw her in, as we were sitting there signing, and she was being so lovely as she was signing people's stuff that I was like, well, I need to get your books. I feel like you're just such a nice person. I want to read what books you wrote. I don't know. She just had a really good vibe. And I was like, okay, well then let's go buy your books. So the hair is down now because I just started getting ready for the next video and forgot I had a few things that I needed to add on to that list. I got Shipwrecked and At First Bite by Olivia Day. These are all books that I got at SteamyLitCon. I knew I was forgetting some things. We also got The Air He Breathes by Brittany Cherry. I got The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I got The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. And then also The Dating Plan and The Singles Table by Sarah Desai. Again, a lot of these books, at least the ones that I've read, you can see the video for SteamyLitCon and see all of what my thoughts were on some of those and more about the SteamyLitCon experience if you were considering going yourself. But back to past Margaret, who forgot to check her bookshelves. Speaking of impulse buys, I saw these and knew I had to have them because if I like this series, these are the editions that I'm going to want to have. But I have One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. Do I know what the heck this is about? No. So we have a main character that is being haunted by a nightmare. There's also some sort of cure that they're trying to find. She's teaming up with somebody. They're falling in love. All things that Margaret really enjoys in a high fantasy world. And then, like, look at these. Look at these. They also have, like, the same motif on the inside. So that's fun. I am going to go through all of these very quickly. I'm not going to, because we sit down and we like look into what they're about in the Illumicrate video, but we have The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang, A Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft, Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen, Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright, Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan, Goddess of the River by Vaishnavi Patel, Until We Shatter by Kate Dillon, and The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. We also have The Oh, I felt that. The Eras Tour Book by Taylor Swift and various others. Look at this. It's got this gorgeous letter and like all of these great fold-outs, and plus here's my favorite thing is that it's got all of the costumes in here. You can't see that? There are a couple of things that are actually typos, which someone should have caught. I don't have an issue with the way Taylor wrote the captions for each of the, like, albums. I know there's repetition. I know it really, those things come down to a matter of whether or not, like, you think that's good writing, and it doesn't come down to it being incorrect. And so for me, it's not a big deal that it's that way. There are a lot, I know there's been some complaints about like blurry photos and stuff. The few that I have found feel like they're intentionally that way. It's the mood we're going for with the photo. So other than like the couple of like actual legitimate typos, I don't have an issue with any of the stuff that people are harping about online. I really don't care. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I'm so glad that I have it. And this is a hefty thing. Like you could really hit somebody with this. I don't know what it says about me that I like analyze my books based on whether or not I can use them as weapons. We have Our Women on the Ground, essays by Arab women reporting from the Arab world. This is 19 essays by different women who report in the Arab world, and it's over a period of time, and they are talking about the different, like these, I can't say they have all one overarching theme because they all, like, they're kind of grouped into different themes, but they all have their own thing that they're trying to communicate. These women, I would suggest, actually, I listen to this as an audiobook, which is very good, but it does have pictures in it, so I would suggest actually reading the book physically as you listen to it if you're going to. And then we have Manslaughter Park by Tirzah Price. This is the third book in the Pride and Premeditation series. They're retellings of Pride and Prejudice, same time period, just as murder mysteries instead of as a classic. And then we also have Witch King by Martha Wells, who is also the author, as you would note, of the Murderbot books. I've heard mixed reviews about this. Don't care. I think that I'm going to enjoy it. Hopefully I do. Hopefully I have a good time. I'm not expecting this to be anything like Murderbot, so like, because we're in a high fantasy world for this one. It's just, I know it's going to be very different. Before we get to the final like books that I bought, let's talk about some of the books that I got from BookNet Fest. They do a book exchange every year. You bring books, you're able to leave them, people will pick them up. So we've got The Court of the Air by Stephen Hunt. I don't even remember what this was about. I believe there's a murder mystery. This one I do know. This is Collateral Damage by Taylor Simmons. This is a superhero novel, only we're following like the normal people who are trying to just go about their day-to-day lives with all of the superhero stuff that goes on around them. We've got The Myth of Beauty, How Images of Beauty Are Used Against Women by Naomi Watts. We also have The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe. I believe that this is a book that is based on interviews that the author did with someone who was an actual librarian in Auschwitz. Like, I've heard about it. I can't remember whether this is well written or not. It was free, so I grabbed it. We also have another Taylor Simmons book, An Infinite Pull. This is like Little Mermaid meets Treasure Planet in space, from what I understand. I was there when like I remember when Taylor started talking about writing this book, so it's just so nice to see it like finally packaged and ready to go. Oh, we have Midsummer's Mayhem by Rajani LaRocca. This looks like a really cute little middle grade that involves some baking potentially. That sounds like it's going to be fun. We also have Whispers Underwater by Penelope Greenings. I met Penelope while we were at BookNet Fest. She's absolutely lovely, and she had this. She had this, so I grabbed it, and yeah, I'll read it at some point. And then the final one that was in this bag is Agatha H. and the Voice of the Castle, a girl genius novel by Phil and Kaja Foglio. I don't know what this is about, but hold on. Like, the covers, the title says middle grade. The cover is saying adult fantasy, so hold on. Third book in the series sounds a little bit steampunk. Cannot tell what it's about, really. And the final books in this, we have a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I absolutely loved The 7-Year Slip. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy this one as much because I know a lot of people that have read it and didn't enjoy it, but did enjoy The 7-Year Slip. This one just, from what I understand, was a little bit too over the top for people. So it's either going to be way too over the top for me or I'm going to absolutely adore it. I'm not sure which yet. I also grabbed The Immortal Dark by Tyjesta Girma. I've heard some good things, some bad things. I got it because it has these, no soul can enter without invitation. It has these sprayed edges, and I wanted, like, this sounds like a book that I'm going to enjoy. And again, I was like, well, if I'm going to enjoy it, I want the prettiest edition of it, obviously. Starting to feel mildly concerned about that, so I pushed those back. I also have Air by Saba Tahir. I ended up giving this 4 stars, absolutely adored it. We're not talking, though. I'm not talking to Saba Tahir right now. Just not. She ended it, and book 2 isn't even announced. Like, we know it's coming, we just don't know the title, we don't know when it's coming out. Nope. And then I also got Morgan's Cross by Nora Roberts. This is also for a project. I know this looks like there's a lot of books that I haven't read, but hear me out. I have more. So we've got Caliban's War and Abaddon's Gate, the special editions by, these are the special editions of the second and third book in the Expanse series. They have this great, like, map of the solar system. They have the foil. I'm very happy. The sprayed edges, all of that good stuff. I'm very happy that I got these and that they exist. I'm so happy that, like, I can get this series in hardcover #1 and there are versions where the correct thing is the biggest thing. Because I don't know if you know this, but after Abaddon's Gate, someone made the decision to make the largest text the author's name. And so now you just have the author's name and the text is really tiny for the title, and I hate it. I love this series though. Okay, so there's one final unread book and 5 books that I have read. And they are all part of the same series. So I did have to get The Wrath of the Triple Goddesses by Rick Riordan because I love these characters. I love this series. I love Percy Jackson. I love Annabeth. I love everything that's happening. And I love the fact that we're getting an entire trilogy that's just like Percy, Annabeth, and Grover basically doing errands for the gods. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because we have those new covers, they also released, this is backwards, but the 5 original books in that same style. So I have The Lightning Thief. If I can get it, I have The Sea of Monsters. I have The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. I think it's also tradition at this point that I just buy a brand new set of the Percy Jackson books every year as well. Oops. I don't care. I love them. I love them so much. And I don't buy every single edition that I see because, like, I don't like all of them, but I like these. All right, there we go. I'm surrounded by the consequences of my decisions is what I'm surrounded by. That's what's going on here. If you have any thoughts about any of these, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I would absolutely love to know if there are any books on this side or the stack that I should prioritize and maybe get to sooner rather than later. Okay, let's see how many books that was, though. So, that is 72 books. In my defense, some of them were free. I need more bookshelves, so help me pay for more bookshelves by liking this video. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'll have the 37 in 37 right over here, my favorite books of all time. Go ahead, click on that so you can, if you want to know a little bit more about my reading tastes. And if you happen to like the vibes, subscribe button is right down there. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more nerdy things. Bye!